To begin, gather 3 pounds of peeled, cored, and thinly sliced apples. Combine them with half a cup of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons each of dark brown sugar, and quick-cooking tapioca, along with a fragrant mix of spices including 1½ teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon of grated nutmeg, and a pinch of ground cloves. Then add a splash of lemon juice and 3 tablespoons of apple butter, stirring everything together until well combined. Now, let's turn our attention to the crust. In a food processor, pulse together 2½ cups of all-purpose flour with half a teaspoon of kosher salt. Add in 2½ sticks of chilled and cubed unsalted butter, pulsing until the mixture forms pieces about 3/4 of an inch in size. For a flakier crust, mix 4 tablespoons of vodka with 4 tablespoons of ice water, or just use half a cup of ice water. Gradually add this to the dough, pulsing a few times after each addition, until the dough just comes together. It should be moist, but not wet, and hold together when pinched. Divide the dough, forming 2/3 into one disc and the remaining third into another. Wrap these tightly and refrigerate for at least an hour. Roll out the larger disc on a lightly floured surface, transfer it to a 9-inch pie plate, fold over any excess dough and crimp the edges. Then, prick the crust all over with a fork and chill for another half an hour. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees while the dough chills. Line the chilled crust with foil or parchment paper, fill with pie weights or dried beans, and bake for 15 minutes. Remove the foil and weights, and bake until pale golden for 5 more minutes. As the crust cools, transfer the apple mixture into it, pressing gently to ensure the fruit is tightly packed. Roll out the remaining dough disc and cut into 1 3/4 inch wide strips. Arrange these over the filling in a lattice pattern. Brush the top of the crust with heavy cream or milk and sprinkle with granulated sugar. Bake the pie on a rimmed baking sheet lined with foil for 15 minutes, then reduce the heat to 350 degrees. Continue baking until the crust is golden brown and the juices are bubbling thickly, about an hour and 15 minutes more. And voila! Allow the pie to cool on a wire rack for at least 2 hours before cutting. Serve with whipped cream, sour cream, or crème fraîche for a slice of autumnal bliss. Please let me know in the comments below how this recipe turned out for you. As always, the recipe is in the description. Don't forget to subscribe and help Magnolia Moon reach 1,000 subscribers.